I think we had, obviously we have a great challenge going to Cincinnati. They're one of the best teams at home. They'll have a good home crowd there. Injury-wise for us, on Tuesday, Jason Bromley was injured. I'm not sure if he's going to play. That's a devastating blow to us up front. We'll have to get more snaps, obviously, out of probably Dion and Eric Kroon. And obviously, we've actually done some things where we've moved Michael Robinson in there to play some to cover that up. Adonis is still fighting to come back. I don't know if he's going to be available to us this week. Justin George was injured last week, didn't play for us. He's been on special teams. He'll be back, playing for us. I think defensively, Cincinnati has threats all over the field. They have a dual threat quarterback, Munchie Legault. I think he's come under a lot of scrutiny, which I think is unfair. I think he's an excellent quarterback, both running the football and throwing it. So we'll have our hands full being able to stop him, especially after last week's performance against a dual threat quarterback in B.J. Daniels. I think they have two outstanding running backs at Cincinnati. I think they have outstanding skill players and probably the most athletic offensive line and the most impressive offensive line that I've seen on film to date with the way they play. So our defense has a great challenge to get them contained. I don't know if you can stop them. Offensively, I think that they don't get enough credit on the defensive side of the ball, in my opinion, in the way they've stopped the run since Coach Jones and that defensive staff have been there. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of pressure. I think that their guys up front are probably the stoutest as far as holding off offensive blockers and getting to the next level. They have a lot of players back there with a lot of experience. They lost a great player in Schaefer last year at middle linebacker. They replaced him with number 51. That's been outstanding for him. And I think for us on offense, we're going to have a challenge up front. We're going to have a challenge completing balls. Everything's going to be contested. And, we're going on the road, and we're just going to fight on every play to put ourselves in position to win a game.
Take your questions for Coach.
Coach, you've spoken highly of Butch Jones in the past. Are your two teams fairly similar in what you do?
No, they've been much better than we have.
I mean, as far as the style and everything?
They've executed a lot better. I'm not sure. I don't watch them 11 games out of the year or preseason or anything. I just watch them for what they're doing for us. I have a hard time commenting on it, but they've been much better than we've been.
Coach, last week you played mobile quarterback in B.J. Daniels. This week, kind of the same with Munchie Legault. So how do you contain that week after week?
I've addressed that. Obviously that's a challenge for us. I think last week we probably did too much to try to stop B.J. So obviously we just got to cut it down and put our players in better position.
Mark?
Coach, you have some momentum, and they are kind of on the other side of that, losing 2 in a row. Is that any kind of edge for your team going in there?
Not in my opinion, no.
Coach, the tank package, you've had mixed success with it since Adonis has gone out. You had that nice call at the end of the South Florida game where it was a pass to Alec Lemon. Is the tank package still in the picture? Is it sort of taking a back seat?
Well, Adonis did extremely well in it. And it's just a matter of our rotation of the running backs and which ones are in there. So, we have it. We have it in. And then it's just a matter of going with execution.
Coach, Syracuse hasn't won 3 Big East games in a row in a long time, which shows you how tough it is to do in any conference. Can you talk about that challenge and stringing together a lot of wins in a row in conference play?
I think our challenges from when we've been here is to win. So, and we haven't done a very good job of that. So to talk about winning, 3 Big East games, whatever it may be, I have not brought that up to our football team, nor have I brought it up to the coaches. What I've been concentrating on is just trying to win each play, that we have in the game and brush off the good and the bad and just get ready and get focused on the next play, the next situation. So I've not spoken to anyone about that.
Michael?
Doug, during the Pinstripe Bowl season, your team performed extremely well on the road, and a lot of the guys said that the reason for that was on the field. There was a lot of senior leadership. Do you think the leaders on this team have similar characteristics to that team that performed so well on the road 2 years ago?
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question. I think those kids did do a good job that year, but since those kids left, we have struggled. It's probably an understatement on the road. So if that's the case, then yes, I'm hoping that's true, that we can do that.
Nolan?
Coach, on Monday in the conference call, you talked about gap control and how that was an issue last Saturday. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and what the
Sure.
challenge
What I
is?
said before is I think we were doing too much. We had a lot of different calls, and I think learning how to fit something within a call, within all the different plays, becomes difficult. So I think if you can tone it down a little bit and people get a better sense of fitting it, you have a better chance of being successful.
Chris?
Doug, when you were in the NFL, what were some of the most important aspects of the no-huddle offense that you wanted to get across?
You got to talk. I'm sorry, I can't hear
When you were in the NFL, what were some of the most important aspects of the no-huddle offense that you wanted to get across to your players quickly and, like, first and foremost, before this season going to this team?
The question was, when I was in the NFL, what was the most important aspect of what you do? To my mind, the most important aspect was the quarterback. I mean, really, making sure that he knew what was going on, and the most important aspect was, where the pressure was coming from, if there was pressure, and depending on the situation, where the matchup problems were, and what we were going to do to take care of that.
Michael?
Coach Morrison said that he was a little disappointed with the way that the defense reacted to each individual play on the field, and he said that sometimes the defense wasn't set by the time South Florida was ready to run a play. Is there anything that you did during the week to try and get ready for that differently, considering Cincinnati has a similar up-tempo, no-huddle type thing?
Yeah, we got to be ready for it. I mean, they caught us, I believe, 3 times, during the South Florida game, and I think that goes back to having too many calls in the game plan.
Dan?
Coach, coming back in this game against South Florida with Ryan Nassen, can you just talk on his leadership, because the offense has struggled at times but has really come on the last 2 weeks?
Well, I think we didn't do a very good job in the first half last week, but I think that Ryan, obviously he played well for us in the second half. Obviously, in my past I've said he's done a very good job of really working on that leadership and communication with the rest of the group. So again, I think the main reason why we've been successful is what I go back to before, which I don't want anyone to lose sight of, is that we've been winning the turnover margin, which has given us the ability to win football games. When you don't win that, what you do is you've taken away the ability to win, and you've lost the game, basically on the turnovers. And I think that, I've talked to the team again, making sure that we don't lose sight of all the other things that are going on, about winning the turnover margin and making sure that we tackle. And even last week we struggled at times tackling, especially in the first half.
Mark?
Coach, can you talk more about Jay Bromley and, obviously bad timing to lose him when you're playing such a good running team? Is there any potential that he'll be gone long term, or what's the outlook?
We're working to get him back this week. I just can't. I really, I don't want to say he's definitely out and then he plays and everyone says I'm lying or whatever, or not giving you guys good information. All I'm telling you is that he got hurt on Tuesday, a lower body injury, and that we're trying like heck to get him back, because that would be a major blow for us. So we're taking him to Cincinnati. I can tell you that. And I think we'll know really the morning of Saturday.
Why is this such a big blow? Why is he so important?
Because he's a heck of a player, And when people have asked me, I told them a TV crew came in here and said, "Hey, we know stats. We look at stats. Is there anyone playing well on the defensive side that we should know about, or the offensive side, or special teams?" Was the question I was asked, and I said, absolutely. I said, Deion Goggins and Jason Bromley are playing extremely well for us. You wouldn't see that within the stats, but they were playing at a very high level for us. Now, that's what I mean when it's a tough blow. A lot of times when people look at games, and they'll see a linebacker making a lot of tackles or big hits or whatever it may be, a lot of times it's someone up front freeing them up or taking care of their gap or forcing something outside, and Jason's been having a very good year along with Deion, and we have when you lose a player, a good football player, that's hurt. So against a team that averages over 200 yards a game rushing.
Final question for Coach? Ben?
With the big storm earlier in the week, what are the statuses of everyone's players, coaches, families, and things like that?
It's all hit us. you know, some way, some form. You know, obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to all those people. You know, obviously, you know, myself being from down there, you know quite a few people, relatives, family, you know, that are struggling. So, you know, we're just, you know, praying for them and hoping that they can get through this very difficult time.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody,
you.
for coming.